Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for joining the Tarot Tips. Today we're going to talk about something that people who work with their cards on a regular basis utilize quite often, and that's the idea of pulling a card for the day. I'd like to talk about it in terms of one of the quickest ways I know to be able to build a working relationship with your cards and what they mean for you. It's not quick in terms of the number of days, but it's quick and effective in terms of what the card means for you. To be able to be paying attention to a certain card's energy throughout the whole day gives you an opportunity to compile quite a lot of potential meanings for any given card. So even though you're only going to get one image to work with per day, to pull a card for the day is one of the quickest ways I know to really get a handle on the energy of the numbers, the energy of the elements, and what the cards in the deck that you're using, how they like to communicate with you. So as an example, I'm going to just pull a card. I don't have a card in mind. I'm just going to pull one at random. And let me make a few points before I look and see what it is. And that is that this notion of pulling a card, one card each day. It's great if you have time in the morning, even if it's just 10 minutes, to sit with your tarot deck, kind of be quiet within yourself for a few moments, and then just draw any single card. The idea being, what kind of energy could I be paying attention to today? Not necessarily to program your day, to say, oh, I'm going to have an X, Y, or Z kind of day, but to say what energy, what card's energy could I benefit from paying attention to, how it might show up in both its positive and negative aspects. So this is another very useful aspect of the card for the day, is that it will show you the many different sides, potential sides of meaning for any given card. So I'm going to take a look at the card that I have, King of Cups. So this is a really good card to use as the example, because this card is a little enigmatic to start with. This card does have very many different sides to them. Now, it's an interesting card to pick today because as the day that I'm taping this tarot tip is my granddaughter's first birthday party. So the King of Cups immediately makes me think of my role as not just nurturing mother or nurturing parent to my daughter, but also that it's definitely going to be a King of Cups gathering. It's going to be a gathering where there's a lot of people with an emotional attachment, not only to my granddaughter, but to everybody else in the room. So that's an interesting guiding card. But back to the point about paying attention to the card in all of its potential meanings. So even though in the context of what I know my afternoon might be like to some degree, if I were wise, I would say pay attention to the different sides of this card and how you might be observing that energy in yourself and in other people as the day unfolds. So some potential meanings for this King of Cups are going to be, let me just rattle off some things off the top of my head, kind of on the spectrum of potential meanings here. The King of Cups is a nurturer. It's somebody who cares very deeply and is strongly attached to the things to which they are in relationship. So along with that goes the tendency to be overprotective, over-controlling, potentially manipulative, so that things go the way that the King of Cups needs them to be. So I might be aware of where there might be an abundance of emotion in general within myself and around me. With this card, I might also look at who is feeling that they got what they needed and maybe who isn't getting what they need emotionally and might be feeling unsettled about that. Um, so to be able to have your experiences during the day, not everybody has the luxury of a half an hour at the end of the day to sit down and think about their experiences and record their thoughts. If you have the luxury of this time, it's really an excellent way to go back and recap things. Where did I see the card, or where did I see the energy of the card playing out in all its different attributes, and what can I learn about that? How can I use that, and how the card might come up for me in the future? So keep those kinds of concepts in mind, whether you pull your card, if you use the card of the day, pulling a card in the morning, whether you in some ways treat it like a homework assignment and do your recap at the end of the day, or whether you just make mental notes and say, oh, yeah, I can see it in this relationship, I can see it in this situation, I could see it with this dynamic that was going on with the cashier at the grocery store. So it doesn't matter the context, and that's kind of the point. The point is that the symbols of the tarot are all parts of the constellation of our life, and the more we can define and name them and depict them in our outer life, the easier it's going to be when we have a card that comes up in a reading to say, oh, I recognize that energy. I know what that's trying to talk to me about. So give it a try. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next time.